Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sophie Gaming, and today I'm going to be doing my first house tour on the channel. So sorry that my simoleons went down a bit. I used to be so close to 300,000, but then I spent a bunch on the new patios quest and stuff. I spent some lifestyle points on completing the patios quest in time so I can get the makeout couch. But yeah, okay, so let's get into this house tour. So let's start off with the outside. So sorry about the background noise. Wait. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so along the sidewalk here we have like this hail, I'm gonna say, bunch of leaves, and then we have these nice trees just going around here. Pretty cool. And then we have, as usual, this mailbox, the trash can, and then we have this park bench and like flowers around it. And then you go here, which we have like this light turn on, and then you enter the front door. And then here's like this coffee table, and then like a glass of a vase of roses, a purple. I keep on forgetting. Purple lamp, and then we have a retro couch, and then there's our kitty squishies, and then we have the fireplace. There's the fireplace, and we have a this is like kind of the walk-in room, and then this is like the office area. So we have the fireplace, our kittens in here, then we have our wardrobe there, and then we have this couch, and then we have this computer, which I like the idea of them, like while they're working on the computer and stuff, they can look outside and see the view, because I bet they see more than just that blue blur that they see there. I bet there's more to that. And then there's a Einstein poster, which I thought was so funny because Einstein kind of makes sense. And then we have the telephone, and then we have this like little play area, which we don't really use that much. We just use it as a spare room. So we have like this bookshelf, and then like a preteen kind of bookshelf, and then we have this the mysterious. I cannot speak. And then we have this like balloons, a rocking chair, a globe, a little like rocking horse, and then we have the cat's like scratching post. And we used to have the dog, but we relocated him because it was just too many animals in this house. I got overwhelmed after a while. And then we have this telephone here. We have a Hanukkah candle light, and then we have this table. And then we have, once you go into here, there's this like room where the parents sleep, and then there's this kitten bed, perfect cat bed I think it's called, and then we have this table here, and then we have a jewelry box, a just plant there, and then we have their bed, and then we have another jewelry box and another plant, and then we have this like Japanese floor lamp, and then we have a black couch, a plant, and then we have their black wall TV. And then here is the bathroom. So we have this designer shower, and then we have this toilet, sink.
You making a video?
No. Oh. Why?
Madeline said you're making a video.
Okay, sorry about that. And then we have like toilet, the plant, and then we have the bathtub, and then we have this window outlooking the big backyard, and then we have this lamp. Okay, and then you go here, over here, you keep here, and then you see the kitchen area. The kitchen area, we have the little plant there, and then we have, my battery's starting to die. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So we have this plant bush here, and then we have this cat bowl, and then we have this chair, stylish dining chair I think it's called. We have two fridges, which I don't know the reason why, but we just do. We have the cupboard, and then we have plenty of counter space because they are a family. And then we have two windows outlooking the backyard, and then we have their microwave, a few plates of food from the morning. We have their stove, their sunflower, their sink, their toaster, and then we have the two babies. Where's the baby going? Okay. We have the baby's high chairs, and then yeah, because there is twins in this household. And then we have the stack of magazines, a daily grind coffee machine, another pot of sunflowers. And then, okay, let's get the walls up here. Let's use our glitch time. And then we have this window, we have the dining table, and then we have the door. And then, while we're here at the door, we're going to show you guys the backyard. So, once you get out to the backyard, you see this Toyota sponsored grill. And then we have this, like, it reminds me of a director's chair. I don't know why. And then we have the other chair. And then we have the 2 planting crops. We have the tree here. I forgot what this is called. And then we have a lot of bushes here because I wanted to cover up the patios a bit. And then we have this. Why is the baby like on there all the time? Then we have the Zen garden. We have the rabbit in a random place, actually. Sorry, we're switching things up a little bit here. So let's see where I feel the rabbit's comfortable. If I can put it right there. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and then we have the trampoline for preteens, and we have the pool for toddlers, and then we have a bunch of bushes just surrounding here. The rabbit. We have the other little thing. Why is the baby outside? Okay, and then we have the swings, and then we have the small patio. I still need to put a gate to this patio and decorate it a bit. And then we have this, which is the same thing. I still need to put a gate to it. And I like how there's a bonfire there. Then we have their boombox and 2 outdoor chairs out looking here. And yeah, and then you go back into the house here. And then we have their living room, their main room. We have this OTT TV, and then we have a designer sofa. And then we have a bunch of designer sofas, and then we have this like gameplay station. And then we have this other gameplay station in the middle of the room. And then here's Miss Tambry. Say hi. She's pretty happy. Then we have another coffee table. And then we have this scholarly bookcase. And then we have flowers next to here, another plants surrounding the TV. And then we have this like hallway to everything. We have this chair in the hallway. So let's start over here. This is like the electronic room. So there's an electric guitar, and there has to be a TV if it's an electronic room. And then we have this Warships game where they can play. Probably turn it into a chess game. I'm not sure. Then we have the speakers, and then we have this record player only for preteens, I guess. And there's the guitars, and then there's this cheap old bunny ears TV. And then you come into here, and there's this certificate. Okay, and then it's pretty crammed in this bathroom. And then we have this elegant bathtub. We have another plant. There's a bunch of these plants all over the room. I mean, all over the whole house. Ah, I'm freaking out. Then we have the sink, and then the shower, the toilet, and then you go, and then you go into the this room, and this is the children's room. And the children's room just has 2 cribs. This is our just temporary setup while I still wait on the roofs, the toddlers quest, and the 2 multi-renovations thing. So then we have this bed, and this side of the room is pretty much for preteens, not for the babies, but they're going to use it in the future. So we have this like little teacup set. We have like this preteens desk, and then it has like a soccer player picture on it. It's pretty cool. Then we have the stroller for toddlers, and then we have this, which anybody can use except for the babies and stuff like that. The adults can use it. So it's a white chase. We have a ballerina lamp, and then we have this fancy bookcase, and then we have this, I forgot what this is called, Payback Pro computer, 2 cribs, and this like side table there. And then we have the dog, the wardrobe, and then the bunny ears TV, and a cute little sofa. And then we have a window looking out everything. Yeah, that was pretty much it. And there's a lot of distractions during this video, and I apologize for that. But yeah, just comment, subscribe. Love you guys. Bye.